While I was watching the dancers in the royal gardens, a plan came to me that will ensure the downfall of the Sunda. An arranged marriage between my king and one of their princesses will cause the Sunda to lower their guard. I will then force them, under threat of destruction, to submit to my king's rule. It is a plot worthy of the cunning council.
Gajah Mada demands the subjugation of Sunda to the Majapahit.
This is not what we agreed upon. We would rather die as free men than live under Majapahit's chains.
The Sunda have the audacity to defy us. We must find a way to break into the city and kill them.
This Gajah Mada guy may be slowly going insane. Just a little bit. The conquests of Dharmasraya and Tammasik make sense, from a great power sense. But then he continued lusting for every island in Nusantara, even the tiniest ones you could not fit a market in. Like a Pokemon collector, he wants them all. Big and small, it doesn't matter. This brings us to today. Gajah Mada's insatiable drive has taken us to Sunda, the neighbor we share an island with. Despite our troops showcasing a very nice victory over Sunda using rams and karambit warriors, what we did, actually didn't occur in history. In real life the Majapahit have never tried to conquer Sunda, seeing them as more of brothers than a legitimate expansion opportunity. But Gajah Mada is so far gone that he cannot accept Sunda's existence as an independent nation. He plans a red wedding to make Sunda the final Majapahit colony.
Angkat senjata.
We have decided to take the land route to the capital, as messing around with Dravidian elephants and transport ships is too bothersome to deal with, and does not showcase Malay civilization. We don't mind the Malay battle elephants that are cheap and cannot sustain as much arrow fire. There are elephants, and we will ride and die with them. Gajah Mada needs to appropriate a pliant village to build his economy to set this plot in motion. There are some bandits along the way, but we are battle-hardened veterans by now. None are a match for us. Along the way, we can spot many valuable resources to take. We will go for those once we have villagers. Destroying the bandit camps will reward our faction with loot, and also stops them from raiding our economy later. Due to this carrot and stick approach, we are incentivized to eliminate all the bandits before beginning our siege of the capital.
There are more bandits on the path to the next village. Let my elephant and I help you clear the way.
Certainly. Having an elephant on our side is always good.
Apa syasananya, Baginda? Aku mengerti. Aku Baginda. Angkat senjata. Aku mengerti. Iya. Apa syasananya, Baginda? Yasaku mengerti. Apa syasananya, Baginda? Aku mengerti.
We need to be a little cautious, as our siege onager can easily flatten our own troops if we aren't watching. It's an easy fight otherwise.
Our village is at your service.
We have some villagers now. Our first command will be to task them to build a second village, along the rhinos and gold, so that we can harvest them without wasting time luring the wild animals.
Our military camp can be of use to you. It is yours. We have destroyed a bandit encampment and found loot.
Angkat senjata. Aku Baginda. Aku mengerti.
Iya.
Gajah, I am hearing some disturbing rumors. Since I trust you, I will not look further into them.
Nothing to see, my king. We're just arresting and executing some bandits here.
Aku Marwat. Apa syasananya? Aku Marwat. Aku pengerti.
Why do we need these elephants and arbalests, you ask? Oh, because there are a lot of bandits. We must make sure the capital is safe for the Sunda wedding.
We cannot risk demolishing our own capital, so we cannot use siege weapons. If we want to destroy buildings, we will have to rely on elephants.
Funny. That wasn't a concern when the king's life was threatened by Rokri and Kuti. He authorized the use of scorpions, trebuchets, and ballista elephants to destroy all the military buildings in Tro-Ulan. The city was a pile of ruins by the time he escaped.
Siap. Aku maju. Apa syasananya? Aku pengerti.
Siap.
Aku Marwat.
I guess that's the difference between a coup plot and a wedding.
Swasti.
Fireworks and explosions are not allowed at weddings.
Siap.
Iya, swasti.
Siap.
Apa
Aku
syasananya?
penumpang kayu.
Siap. Aku pemangun gedung. Apa syasananya, Baginda? Aku Baginda. Aku pengerti.
Gajah Mada's task is done and he will sit on the sidelines while the plot goes into motion. No need to dirty our hands personally.
We have destroyed a bandit encampment and found loot.
Yasa kuka, Baginda.
By the way, a lot of people say this mission is hardest, or too hard, but I do not find it that difficult to complete personally. I guess most people like to wall, research every technology, and boom up before risking an attack. Missions with a time limit scare a lot of people. But we always try to play fast anyway. Not that we are speedrunners, I don't cheese and let my enemies give a proper fight, but while recording these videos I try not to let them drag on too long, lest they become unwatchable. That is why we often play proactively and take the initiative, even fighting multiple enemies on multiple fronts, combining land battles and sea battles at the same time.
Apa syasananya, Baginda?
Our micro is not the best as a filthy casual, but we will finish these campaigns in a timely fashion. So for Pasunda Bubat, the king, KM Wuruk, will eventually grow suspicious of our intentions towards his new bride. This will trigger a countdown, and if we do not kill all the Sunda royal fighters before it expires, our mission fails. The Sunda royal fighters are just regular infantry, but they are protected by a lot of bodyguards that will spawn endlessly. Our enemy has no economy, and more than infinite resources.
Swasti. Aku pengerti. Aku panumbang.
Therefore it is in our interest to end the campaign fast anyway, as the Sunda bodyguards will snowball into the hundreds with their infinite spawn cheat code. Even with a full Imperial Age economy we cannot deal with someone who cheats like that.
Angkat senjata. Yasa angkat senjata. Tapi
As satisfying as it would be to trample all these bandits with elephants, we don't have the time, so we must quickly smash these tents, claim our loot, and leave.
siap. Swasti. Aku pemangun gedung. Aku pemangun gedung.
We will deal with the bandit camps first, as they spawn raiders, before clearing the river crossing to establish a path to the capital.
Apa syasananya Baginda? Yasaku ka Baginda.
We have destroyed our bandit encampment.
I confess
and
to
found
not
loot.
being that good with arbalests, having never learned the magic of split formation. So if archers die by the dozens, don't be surprised.
Aku pemangun gedung. Panumbang kayu. Ia angkat tape. Maju. Angkat sanjata. Apa syasananya Baginda?
Swasti.
Apa syasananya Baginda?
Siap, 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 siap.
Ia. Yasaku ka Baginda. Ia. Tape.
This is a little inconvenient, as the smart raiding elephants are going for my arbs instead of my elephants. Suddenly they have to run.
Maju, tape, aku marwah. Maju, aku pengerti. Angkat sanjata, aku pengerti. Tape, aku marwah. Ia, aku pengerti. Aku maju.
Pretty ugly, but we made it.
Apa syasananya Baginda? Angkat sanjata.
Apa sasananya Baginda? Siap. Aku tuha buru.
Aku pengerti. Ia Baginda.
We have destroyed our bandit encampment and found loot.
Aku pengerti.
As elephants cost more food than gold, it's important not to overinvest in gold mining. We need more farmers, to ensure our stables keep working without needing to use the market.
Aku pemangun gedung. Yasaku ka Baginda. Ia, aku pengerti. Yasaku ka Baginda. Apa syasananya Baginda? Siap. Aku pemangun. Aku pemangun gedung. Ia.
The bandits will raid our starting base, but we do not care about it. The only thing we care about is to ensure we have extra houses than our population requires, so that the bandits cannot house us mid-battle.
Yasaku ka Baginda. Maju. Angkat sanjata. Tape. Ia, angkat sanjata. Apa syasananya Baginda? Aku akan marwatnya. Aku pemangun gedung. Ia Baginda.
We want to move our villagers forward as much as we can, because villagers will play a key role in the Bubat fight later, as you'll see.
Swasti.
Aku tuha buru.
Siap.
Aku tuha buru. Aku pemangun gedung. Aku pengerti.
Pasunda are our guests. I will not tolerate any harm being done to them. Cease your activities now.
The king does not know what is best for Majapahit. We support you, Gajah, but we must hurry.
Agreed.
Aku marwat.
The sooner we are done with this treachery, the better.
Apa
The one thing
syasananya
worse than
Baginda?
rebelling against the king is to be a failed rebel against the king.
marwat. Apa syasananya, Baginda? Yasakuka, Baginda. Aku mengerti. Aku Marwat. Iya, aku mengerti. Tapi apa syasananya, Baginda? Swasti. Aku mengerti. Aku pemangun gedung.
More important than mining gold or collecting resources is production buildings. Malay elephants are cheap anyway, what we need is a reliable way to mass a lot of them. This has now become a death match.
Iya. Apa syasananya, Baginda?
Castle in front will help us break the gate open. And research conscription, boosting our production rates.
Siap, 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 siap.
Iya, aku angkat senjata. Yasakuka, apa syasananya, Baginda? Aku mengerti. Maju. Tapi angkat senjata. Maju. Iya, Baginda. Tapi maju. Angkat senjata.
This is ugly, losing that many arbalests to the siege onager.
Iya, Baginda.
But that's why we simply have a lot of buildings, because what we lack in skill, we can compensate for, with numbers.
Siap. Iya, aku mengerti. Siap, 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 siap.
Apa syasananya, Baginda?
I guess we can mine the forward gold, but I doubt we will collect many before needing to advance the villagers anyway.
Aku Marwat. Iya. Siap.
Swasti.
Siap.
Yasakuka, Baginda. Siap.
Siap. Aku penumpang kayu.
Iya, aku mengerti. Yasakuka, Baginda. Iya, aku mengerti.
We are through. Go go go.
Apa syasananya, Baginda? Angkat senjata. Iya. Aku pemangun gedung. Maju.
Killing all Sunda bodyguards in an area causes the production building to convert to ours. Theoretically, this means we could defeat Sunda's infinite spawn and win. In practice, the Sunda production is so fast that it will quickly outpace whatever we throw at it.
Siap. Aku akan maru.
The best outcome we can hope for is to convert all the production buildings on our side of Bubat Plaza, so that the Sunda bodyguards will only be streaming in from one direction.
Yasa aku pengertian. Apa syasarannya aku mengerti. Aku mengerti. Swasti, aku mengerti.
The first two Sunda royal fighters go down. The next two are behind this barricade that will let in a whole flood of Sunda troops. The biggest group of Sunda royalty is in the castle itself, a very arrow-hurting location even for elephants to stand in. We will even the odds by erecting our own castle. Our villagers have run out of gold, and although there are other golds on the map, before they walk to it, Gajah Mada would have either won or lost. Luckily we have other gold piles available.
Aku penumpang kayu.
Siap.
Our castle goes up, and just in time, the siege onager was making things bad for us. You might miss this in the chaos that follows, but I forgot to research any techs. No blast furnace, no bracer, no chemistry. Yet when I retried the mission, we were, to my surprise, significantly slower, although there was still a healthy amount of time before the clock reached zero. I guess that the mistake was not a mistake after all. Just having warm bodies ready is far more important than spending the resources to upgrade them. Without upgrades, all my resources were channeled into army instead. The Sunda royal fighters are just infantry, so they are easily beaten even by elephants in a castle with no upgrades. Collectively, the techs would have added to around 12 or so elephants, and as you can see, our resources have been simply flatlined the whole Bubat tragedy. We are almost at the climax now. I didn't even scout the extra stone which would have allowed castle repairs, but we can use the market to buy stone, repair with villagers, and hold out just long enough to kill the last Sunda royal fighters with a photo finish. The Sunda are finally committing their elephants, but we have 12 stables churning out Malay cheap battle elephants with no upgrades. I guess that instead of using the market to buy stone and repair the castle with villagers, I could have just manually targeted the onager doing so much damage to it. But either way, we are keeping this castle alive, and all we need is just a few more seconds. The Sunda have put up a good fight, but even they have to soon call the GG.
Killed the Sunda princess. Gajah has completed his oath.
You had better come see me now, Gajah, lest you be declared an enemy of the state.
Our castle is still up, we're still holding the position, and there is still more than 16 minutes on the countdown timer. We would have won the Battle of Bubat as our final numbers outnumber the Sunda. Sunda's infinite bodyguards on the south side of Troulan did not try to save their princess.
At first, all went according to my plan. My army surrounded the Sunda royal family, and I ordered them to surrender their weapons. I was convinced that they would comply. To my surprise, instead of surrendering, the Sunda drew their weapons and attacked my army, even though they were vastly outnumbered. I tried in vain to stop the fighting, but the Sunda were destroyed. and my plot crumbled into dust. My
16
own
minutes
king
left on
and
the
his
countdown
family,
timer.
the family
Resources
that
may
I
have looked
spent
scary
my
towards the
entire
end,
life
but a little
serving
bit of
were
market magic gave the small push to
disgusted
bring
by
us over the
actions.
finish
When
line.
the king summoned me, I could see
I'd say
the
we executed a
disappointment
pretty
and
good
loathing
betrayal.
in his
You
eyes.
shouldn't be ashamed of your deeds,
tears,
Gajah Mada.
He told
Don't get
that
me
his
wrong,
bride
you
to
were
be
rightfully
had
exiled for
committed
this.
suicide,
But that's why this is
and
such
that
a
I
good
had
story
ruined the
of Breaking Bad.
reputation of our empire.
Gajah
Many
Mada is
in
one of the
Majapahit
best-known figures of
Empire
Indonesian history.
wanted me dead.
Today, he's
But
honored with
because of my
universities
long
and
years
streets
of
named
service,
after him.
The king spared my life. Instead, I
Also,
was to
he didn't
resign
die for
and
his
to
crime,
withdraw
but
to a
got to live
small
his life to a
mansion in
ripe
the
old age and die
countryside.
in peace.
Death
As for the
would have
Sunda
been a
princess,
less harsh
he should have done what we did and just used Karambit warriors and rams like we did in the same campaign.
So, here I am.
We beat the Sunda, Dharmas Raya,
only
and Tem
old
Masik
man,
all at once.
once
Karambit
ambitious
warriors
and
are trash, but they are
now
up if you know how to
trapped in
use them.
this secluded place. I realized that I was not clever like the cancer.
Wow, he
but
actually
rather
accomplished what
greedy
Rokri and Kuti
blind,
could not.
like the animals that it misleads.
We
The
saved the previous
assassination
king
of
only
the
to
first
poison him
king,
ourselves
the
anyway.
removal of
What a
the
waste of
prime
heavy
minister,
scorpions,
all of the
trebuchets, and
schemes
battle
that I
elephants.
planned and conspired. I let nothing come in the way of my ambitions. And now, I pay the price.